Hey, Bougie Club. Happy Sunday. I'm going to give us a minute to get logged in everywhere. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. This one is going to be quick because I'm in the middle of working on a project, which is why I was late because I was caught up in what I was supposed to do. So good evening, everybody. So I'm gonna give y'all some tea, y'all. So get y'all teacups together. This is gonna be a me getting naked session. But I'm hoping that this helps you all kind of really reflect on some things that you may think that you want, that maybe you wanted at one time, but as time has gone on, you've evolved. And if you really reflect and take stock of who you have become, you might realize that the thing that you thought you desired, you really don't want it anymore, because the person who desired it no longer exists. You know what? What is going on with my app that I'm upside down? Okay. Well, we're not gonna do that again this week. For some reason, I guess I'm gonna have to uninstall my app and reinstall. Okay. Can y'all see me now? Am I still upside down? Okay, y'all, let me know when y'all come back in, because I believe it kicked me out, or I kicked myself out. So I see 3 of y'all. I see 4 of y'all. Somebody put in a comment so I know y'all back online. I don't know what's going on with my software. Are y'all in? Can y'all see me? Okay. Now, back to what I was saying. So, as we evolve and we change, now I gotta lift my thing up, because, okay, my eyes gonna be all over the place, you guys. Hey, Miss D, because my camera is down here and I'm used to looking up here, so we're gonna work with it. So I was saying, I want you guys to kind of think about your whole evolution process and your becoming. And so I'm gonna get naked with y'all and share some tea, just based on my personal experience, and hoping that you'll benefit, or you may be able to glean something from the story. So this has been a very interesting year, and I don't know about you all, but I am not the same person that I was in February. Like, my whole perspective on so many things have changed in light of COVID-19 and just spending time in isolation, being still, not being able to move, and the world shifting and changing as it has. The current existence and state of affairs is not what it was when this year started. Like, nothing is the same. Like, we're trying to move forward and make it the same and hold on to those things, but life is different. So during this period of silence, every year I do something different. in July. So July is a big month for me trying new processes. And I shared with you all last week, I was in a period of silence. And I'm a firm believer in the things that the Bible says. And so one of the things that it says is that, you know, God will give us the desires of our heart. Now, it doesn't say when these things are going to come, but they come. And in the process of my evolution and my change and in my becoming and me transitioning and fully embracing who J. Penelope has become, I have come to the realization that the things that I once desired, I no longer desire anymore. So this is how I'm going to tell y'all I know this. So there's a guy friend of mine who we are really good friends, but the friendship was birthed out of a crush that I had on this individual. And I have known this person over 10 years. And, you know, I was digging him, but at the time I was in a relationship, so I couldn't really move forward or act on anything. And I guess you could say if lust in the flesh was a person, he would be that particular person. And like, I really liked him, like, you know, really liked him, desired him, or whatever the case may be. Even over the years as our friendship, you know, continue to grow or whatever, and it has been and it is strictly platonic. In the back of my mind, you know, it was still like that liking there, but out of respect for our respective relationships at the time, neither one of us were acting on those other attractions that we had. Does this make sense? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm just getting naked by myself. So I've evolved in this period of 4 years. I've been single for 4 years, and I've really been spending time getting to know myself. And I've been celibate for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. I never in my life would have imagined that I would be celibate for that long. I don't even have, hey, Miss Carmen, I don't even have a uterus. So the things that most women worry about with being sexually active are not an issue with me because I cannot have any children. So you would think that, you know, be like, hey, a free-for-all, but it's not. And I understand spiritually what the act of sex entails. So from a spiritual perspective, I am choosing not to engage in sexual relationships with anyone where there isn't anything more than a physical connection. There has to be a meeting of the mind spiritually before I'll go there with anybody, because we have to be equally yoked on a spiritual level for me to be able to introduce someone to my Father in that manner, now that I have a greater understanding of what the union of sex entails. So are y'all following me with this? So anyway, that does not mean that sometimes, you know, I can look at somebody and still be attracted. Don't get me wrong. All of those feelings still work. But I've resolved in remaining celibate until I find a person for me that is akin to God in the flesh from a spiritual perspective and being able to vibe with that person. So I said all that to say, it's easy to say that when you're not tempted. But when the situation presents itself, can you still hold fast? And the only way you can determine if you will hold fast is if you're in the middle of a situation and you don't act on it. And then when that happens, you have to ask, why didn't I act on it? And for me, I realized it was because my desires had changed, my heart had changed. So I haven't had this level of deliverance from cake, though, because I still got a thing for cake. Anyway, so a situation happened this week where this guy and he came over just to visit. You know, we were talking about some business stuff because, you know, I have a consulting firm, so I do business do, you know, different type of projects for him where he pays me to do stuff for his business. But anyway, long story short, the opportunity presented itself where I could have acted on all of those little desires and thoughts that I thought that I had wanted to participate in with for this individual on the sexual nature. Like, it was open air opportunity. Like, the thing was like unfolded and presented itself and was like in the palm of my hand. And in that moment, the thing that I thought that I really desired and I had wanted for over a decade was not even of any interest to me, y'all. When I tell you, now, don't get me wrong, brother man is fine, right? You know, he's fine. Like I told y'all, like literally, the opportunity presented itself. It wasn't like the package was lacking in any way or anything like that, but I didn't want it. Like, I wasn't feeling it. It truly wasn't anything that I desired. And after the fact, I sat down and I reflected and I was like, the thing that I desired most was presented to me, and I didn't really think about it at the time. It's just like, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't interested. It wasn't anything that I wanted to do. Like, I was like, I'm good, you know, that's that on that. But what I was realizing is, why didn't I want it? Like, because in my mind, I thought that I had wanted it, like, even before that particular day, like, you know, a couple of months ago or whatever. I would have thought that if that opportunity would have presented itself, I would have taken it. But what I realized is I've changed. So the person I was when I thought that I wanted that is not the person that I am now. And so while I'm talking to you guys about a situation that I had in a fleshly context around a sexual desire with someone, that same thing applies in so many other areas of our lives where we desire something or we think we desire something and we're holding on to the lust of that desire, but it's really not what we desire anymore because we've grown and we've evolved. And so what I realized, I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago, but in my mind, I was holding on to a 10-year-old desire. But what I want now from an encounter or an experience or a person that I'm involved with in that matter is so much more and so much different that relationship wouldn't be able to supply those other components that I need and I desire. So it wasn't worth, like, I'm in a state in my life where I'm non-negotiable and I can't compromise. Like, I want it all. I can have it all. I want all of the things. I want all of the components. So what areas in your life are you in desire for that are no longer applicable? Because you've either added on more components to that thing you desire, whether it's a relationship with a person, whether it's a job, whether it's where you want to live. Like, I really want you guys to sit down and reflect, what desire are you holding on to that you, like, in the back of your mind really, really wanting, but you really don't want it anymore because you haven't reevaluated it. It just may not apply anymore. Like, I have a whole board, a manifestation board of things that I've written down that I want to do and I want to accomplish. But now, sitting here in July of 2020, it's no longer applicable. Like, the world that those thoughts and desires were for no longer exists because the world is not the same as we know it. When I wrote that stuff on the board in 2019, at the beginning of 2020, those things no longer apply because those components of the world no longer exist. We can't do the things that we used to do. We can't gather with large people. Like, one of the things that I wanted to do was have a birthday party. A birthday party for what? Who's gonna be able to come to the birthday party? I don't want to do a virtual birthday party where we get on Zoom or FaceTime. Like, that's not the experience of a party that I want. And so are you still holding on to a desire that's no longer applicable because either the world has changed or you have changed in the world in which you exist? And until you get presented with the situation, you may not understand it. Now, at the time, I didn't think of it was, oh, wow, this was a desire of my heart that's in front of me. I wasn't even looking at it like that. And so sometimes we can be desiring something and it'll be right in front of us. It'll be presented to us. It'll be in the palm of our hand and we'll miss it because we're really not paying attention. And you're thinking that God's not hearing you or you've been forsaken or forgot about, when in actuality, the thing that you've been desiring and asking for is right in front of you, but you can't see it. And the question is, why can't you see it? Because I realized for me that was just a tool to allow me to ask for what my true desire was, which is sight, which is discernment, which is me being able to see what God is trying to show me on a spiritual level. So on a carnal level, what I thought I was desiring was this man, but on a spiritual level, what I was desiring was sight. And that situation allowed me to see something so much bigger than an act of sex. It allowed me to see how much I've grown in the spirit. It's allowed me to see how much I've grown in my spiritual walk and my elevation of my mind and the things that I value and important. And it allowed me to see that my relationship that I've developed with God is more important than any relationship that I thought that I wanted with a man. So I hope that this is making sense to y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to put this experience in words, because in the flesh, I thought I was desiring a connection with an individual, a sexual connection with an individual, but being presented with that opportunity and not even being interested in that opportunity, I realized that carnal desire was leading me to the realization of what my true spiritual desire was, and that was my connection with God and my spiritual growth, because it is only through spiritual growth that I did not act on that particular opportunity. Because now, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, Brother Man could have got it. Like, it would have been on and popping, but I am not who I was. I'm not who I was then. I'm not who I was 6 months ago. And I'm not saying that 6 months ago I would have acted on it. As I told y'all, I've been celibate for almost 4 years, and it's not because opportunities haven't presented themselves or I don't have anybody I could give it to. It's just something that I'm choosing not to do. But when confronted with that opportunity with somebody that I really thought that I wanted, like that I really, really was digging on, and then not even be interested, it allowed me to see how much I've grown, how much I've changed, and really do further self-reflection on who I have become and what do I do now. Because I had been caught up in a routineness, I think, in so many areas of my life, thinking I was who I was and not recognizing who I've become. And so I want you guys to sit back and reflect on who are you? Like, I really have been sitting down and asking myself, who am I? Like, who am I? Because I'm not that person who wanted those things, even though those things were still lingering in my mind. Like, it's not what I want. So who are you? Who have you become? And are you still holding on to the desires of the old you? And are those desires keeping you from seeing what you really should be seeing? So I want you guys to really reflect this week on, who am I? Who have I become? We know who you were. I know who I was. You know who you are. Like, I even shared the experience with my sister, and she was like, but God, like, because I remember as a time when you would have did it. And I was like, I know, and I didn't, you know. And so even being able to share the experience with her, like, she was able to see the spiritual growth in me, but I never was able to really see it for myself and to present it with that situation. And so I want you guys to really sit down and reflect, who are you? because so much has happened. We can just stay in this little 3-4 month period of COVID-19. Who are you? Because you're no longer the person you were going in to COVID-19. Like, we're still in the midst of it, and I understand, but I want you to ask yourself, who are you now? What is it that's important to you? What is it that you value? What is it that you truly desire? Because I guarantee you, if you sit down and reflect, you will probably have the same realization that I have, which is I have become someone else. I have elevated to a different level of understanding, a different level of desire, but at the same time, in my mind, and even in my heart, y'all, I was holding on to some old desires that were no longer what I do. Like, they don't belong to me. They're not me anymore. I'm someone new. I've had so many experiences that my desires have changed. And what I want to allow you to see is that it's okay. It's supposed to change. Like, sometimes we say we're going to do something or we want something and we'll hold on to that stuff like a pit bull because we said it. But I want to give you permission to change your mind. I want you to sit back and reflect and ask yourself, who am I and what does the new me want? Because the new you may be holding on to the pieces and the desires of the old you that no longer serve you in this new season. You in a new season, so renew your mind, Bougie Club. Sit down and reflect. Who are you? Because I guarantee, look, if you would have tried to convince me 6-7 years ago that I would have passed up on this opportunity with this individual, I would have told you that you was crazy. Because look, from the first time I saw him, I was like, he can get it. And I wanted to give it to him. But when I had the opportunity to give it to him, I ain't want it no more. Like, at all. It's not that he's not desirable. He just ain't desirable to me. That's just not the capacity on which I want to have a relationship with him. Like, at all. Never would have guessed it. But I'm grateful for my spiritual growth. I'm grateful for being presented with that opportunity so that I could see myself. Yeah, I get naked with y'all. I'm just keeping it 100. I don't want y'all to think that I don't have the same issues or go through similar things that everybody else go through. I don't ever want y'all to put me up on a pedestal, which is why I get on here on Sundays and whenever and get naked with y'all. So, yeah, my desires change. I have become someone else, and I am proud and excited about the woman that I have become. I'm excited to see how I continue to grow. And it's okay if your desires change. That's a good thing. That's just the indication that you are growing. Yeah, so Bougie Club, that's my assignment for y'all this week. Sit down and reflect and ask yourself, who am I? And are the desires that I'm holding on to still applicable to what I really want in my life moving forward? That's all I got for y'all, Bougie Club. That's it. I'm proud of myself. I'm excited on who I've become. I'm excited about my growth. I'm excited for you all to have revelations on your growth and your expansion and who you've become and who you are still becoming. It's not over. It's a process. Trust the process. I love you all. As always, I encourage you to be bold, outspoken, unapologetic, goodwill, inspiring, and epic every day. I love you all in this life and the next. Have a fantastic week. I love you guys.